Okay, so we're now here in our Unit 2, Week 2 lesson for the second quarter. And if, as you have noticed, our SLM is quite long. It's 39 pages. However, this is very easy. The SLM might be long because what's indicated here is really the complete and detailed process of solving. But actually, when we go into this discussion later, this is actually very easy. And then also, we will find ways on how can we make this even simpler to understand. Okay? Is that okay with you? Sir, lagi pong scam yung isin nyo. Okay. You know what? For you to become, for the lessons to become easier for you, all you need to do is to practice solving. That's the best key for this. Okay? Let's now start our discussion. Okay? This is just very easy. Yeah, and then this is not a scam, but actually this is really easy. Okay, game. So when we say unit circle, ayan, unit circle is actually a circle from the origin, the center is at the origin, and then the radius is equal to 1. From the word itself, unit is equal to 1. So expect that in the unit circle, always that your radius is always 1. Remember that. Your radius is always 1. So take a look at this. If this is our Cartesian plane, we have our x and y axis, the blue axis, and then this is our origin, 0, 0. The radius is always 1. So that's one thing that you need to remember. The unit circle is called unit circle because the radius is a unit. It's just 1 unit. So that's the reason why this is called unit circle. That's it. And by simply understanding all of the coordinates that are lying on the circle and on the x and y axis, these are the 4 coordinates that you need to remember. We have 1, 0 here. You also have 0, 1. You have negative 1, 0. And you have 0, negative 1. So those are the 4 coordinates of this unit circle that pass through our x and y axis. Okay, now there are lots of points around the circle. There are points that may come outside the circle, inside the circle, and on the circle. When we say outside the circle, of course, these are the lines that, or those are the points that lie here outside of the circle. The points that lie on inside the circle are, of course, the points that lie here inside. And of course, the points that lie on the circle are this line, the points themselves. These are all the points that pass through this circle are all points on the circle. Okay, please take note of that. And of course, don't forget to take note that the equation of the unit circle is always x squared plus y squared is equal to 1. We have learned this last quarter. The equation of the circle. If it's on the origin and your radius is just 1, you will end up with this equation. Okay, that's it. And so let's just have some exercise, and that is finding the location of your point. Okay, let's go right here. So let us now have some points and identify if they are on the circle, in the circle, or outside the circle. Okay? And there are these conditions that we need to consider. And that is by using the equation of the circle, which is x squared plus y squared is equal to 1. Let's have some examples. Let's take a look at this. Okay. So, for example, let's find the location, determine the location, determine if, of course, gagawa muna tayo ng mga numbers. 2, 3 is determine if this point is in, on, or out the circle. Of course, looking at the value, it's 2, 3, automatically, madali na yung isipin, nasa labas ito. Of course. Kasi, if we will plot this is 1, 2, and then 1, 1, 2, 3. It's somewhere here. Automatically, this is outside the circle. Kasi masyado siyang malayo. But for the sake of solving and looking at these conditions, let's still try solving this using our equation. So we have x squared plus y squared is equal to 1. Just substitute. This is your x and this is your y. So this becomes 2 squared plus 3 squared is equal to 1. And then we have 4 plus 9 is equal to 1. And 13 is greater than 1. Look at this. Is it greater than 1? Where does it fall? Is it on the first condition, second condition, or third condition? Type your answer in the chat box, please. Where does it fall? Correct. It falls on the first condition. It's greater than 1. And even without solving, we can immediately identify it. So that is outside the circle. So that's easier to identify. It's outside the unit circle. Okay. That's so simple. What about if magkaroon na tayo ng other values like this? Ready? Let's have, let me clear these things up. Okay, what if we have the points, square root of 3 over 2, 1/2. Ayan, this becomes more exciting simply because this is quite not that easy to graph, just like our previous example. So for us to identify whether it is in, on, or outside the circle, the unit circle, let's use the formula. So we have x squared plus y squared is equal to 1. So this is your x, of course. This is your y, of course. And then let's substitute. Our x is square root of 3 over 2 squared plus y is 1/2 squared is equal to 1. Uy, magiging equal kaya to sa 1? Let's see. So we have numerator and denominator, and both of them are squared. So therefore, we need to distribute squared to your numerator and denominator. So 3 squared is 9, and the square root of 9 is 3. Can you follow? Or simply, just cancel out the square root and the squared, magiging 3 na lang siya. Okay, whichever process you want. And then, square your denominator, which is 2. 2 squared, that is 4. Can you follow? Plus. Okay, similarly, we will distribute 1. We will distribute the square to 1 and to 2. Okay, 1 squared is 1 over 2 squared is 4 is equal to 1. So therefore, we can now add these fractions, n to n, d to d. They must be similar fractions since they have the same denominator, which is 4. So we will copy the same denominator, that's 4. So 3 plus 1, the answer is 4. And 4 is equal to 4. 4 over 4 is equal to 1. And that's equal to 1. So which What conclusion can you identify or can you say about this point? Where is it? Is it inside, outside, or on the circle? Type your answer in the chat box, please. Very good. It's on the circle simply because it equated to 1. Got it? What about this? One more. Ready? What if we have, tell me, this time I will give you the opportunity to solve this. Ready? Identify the location of the point, 1/2, and 3/2. Go. Type your answer in the chat box when you're done. And so, for us to identify this, of course, let's substitute them to our equation. So we have x squared plus y squared is equal to 1. So this is your x, of course, x and y. Substitute. So we have 1/2 squared plus y is 3/2. If ever you're having a difficulty solving manually, you can seek the help of your calculator. That's not a problem. So 1/2 squared is 1/4 because some of you might be having problems with regards squaring the fractions. But I would appreciate if you will do it manually as well para nasasanay kayo. Plus square of 3, that's 9. And then square of 2, that's 4 is equal to 1. Okay? And then that is n to n, that's 1 plus 9, that's 10/4 is equal to 1. Divide this, that becomes 2.5 is greater than 1. So it satisfies the first condition, which is outside the circle. Can you follow? Show a reaction if you understood that process. Okay, very good. So are we already clear with that? Uy, sir, wala pa pang example ng inside the circle. Oh, let's see. Ready? This time, I want you to solve it again. One more practice, one more try. Ready? Oh, find the location of this point. Go. 1/2 and -1/2. Type your answer in the chat box when you're done. So again, just to reiterate before we move on to the continuation, there are lots of ways to solve or to find the location of your point. It's either you graph it, if you can graph it, or you substitute it to the equation of the unit circle, which is x squared plus y squared. Okay, that's it. Now that you know how to identify the location of the point, whether it is inside, outside, or on the unit circle, let's now move on with understanding the different units of measurements with regards this topic. Okay, so this time we will be learning the degree and the radian measures. Game. So when we say we have two types of measurements here, we have the degree and we have the radian measures. Okay, the degree measures, it's just the same as the degrees that we all know about angles. We are very much familiar with this. We have different types of, we have different degree measurements. We have, depending on the opening of your angle. Okay, so we have from 0 degree onwards hanggang sa tumaas ng tumaas yung degree natin. And when we say degree, we are talking about that degree symbol. Meron siyang degree symbol doon. There's a degree symbol. So when we say degree, this is equal to 1/360 of 1 revolution of a circle. Okay, that's 1 degree. So there are lots of angles that we know about this. We have 90 degrees. Sige nga. What kind of angle is 90 degrees? Let me see. Type your answer in the chat box, please. Just for us to have a review. Very good. Right angle. What if your angle is 40 degrees? What kind of angle is this? Type your answer in the chat box, please. It's acute. Very good. What if it is 97 degrees? What kind of angle is this? Okay, it's obtuse. What if it is 180 degrees? What kind of angle is this? Type your answer in the chat box. Only one got it correctly. Oh, simply because we were boxed by the concept of geometry. Wherein in geometry, we only have the acute, right, and the obtuse. That's for geometry. But our lesson here is not anymore about geometry, but this is about trigonometry. So therefore, we go beyond 180 degrees. Okay, so because what we learned during our geometry lessons were there were only 3 types of angles, the acute, right, and obtuse. But now that we are learning trigonometry, please know that we have more types of angles than the 3 that we know about geometry. So we have here the right, we have here the acute, we have here the obtuse, and then when it's exactly 180 degrees, that is a straight angle. Got it? Galing na talagang Jaisel. O, see, basic lang siya. Okay. And so, what if it is 360 degrees? What kind of angle is that? Sige nga. Full angle. Let's try. Pag nabuo na, if it's already formed, completely formed, it's a circle. That is what we call the 1 revolution. Because it started from 0 degree and then umikot na into 1 full revolution. So that's 1 revolution. Okay? Got it? Okay, that's it. So those are just examples of the degree measurements. Now, let me remove this now. When we say radian measures, these are different naman from the degree. And as you have noticed, if you have your scientific calculators now, we have that rad. There's a mode in our calculator na rad, if you are familiar, the deg, the rad, and the grad. So rad, this is the rad. This is the symbol for the radian. And oftentimes, always, that in the radian measures, we always deal with the pi symbol. Why? Simply because a radian measure is equal to the central angle of a circle. If this is our Cartesian plane, there's a circle. Radian measure is equal to the central angle of a circle, central angle, which interprets an arc. This is the arc. This interprets an arc. That's the arc, whose length is equal to the length of the radius of the circle. So therefore, when we say radian, we are referring to the length of the length of this arc measurement. Okay, that is expressed in terms of pi rad. When we say pi rad, that is the radian measure. Okay, let's have some examples. Did you know that each degree measure has an equivalent radian measure? Did you know that every degree measure has an equivalent radian measure?